What is the future of our church? I'm sure some of you think about that. I guess we all want our church to thrive and to prosper. We want a church where young people will be moved by the faith to serve and to be involved. That more will join the RCIA to become catechumens and eventually be baptized. That is our hope. That is the church that we want. But what is the reality? The reality is probably that only 1/3 of Catholics in Singapore practice the faith or go to Mass. The reality is that more than half of our confirmants fall away from practice of the faith a short time after their confirmation. The reality is that should these confirmants continue practicing the faith into their early adulthood, a lot more will fall away should they go overseas to study or when they begin work and start climbing the corporate ladder. Yesterday, Father Terence spoke about some of the challenges faced by families who are trying to live the faith today. Quite often these days, I have parents coming to me for confession. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Father, my son, my daughter is not going to Mass anymore. He or she is not practicing the faith anymore. And I feel bad about it. When I had children, when I got married, I made a promise that I would raise them in the faith. But now they're not practicing. And is it my fault? I feel bad. I feel guilty about it. Maybe they're not going to church because I didn't do well enough as a parent to hand the faith over to them. It pains me to listen to confessions like this. They ask me to pray for them and for their children and pray that their children will eventually come back to the practice of the faith. But these parents are looking for a way forward. This is what I believe. The church as we are living it is not designed to bring non-practicing Catholics back to the community. The church that we have set, as we have set it up, is not designed to welcome people who have left the church to come back easily. And it's very easy for us to have the expectation that people should simply return to church, should return to come back to practice the sacraments. But it's not enough to just say that I want returning Catholics to come back. How are they going to come back? Who is going to welcome them? How are we going to welcome them? How will they know what's happening in the church and who is going to invite them? A vibrant, missionary, and evangelistic church. That is the vision that Archbishop William Goh has for the church in Singapore. And that's very much in line with Pope Francis' own vision of the new evangelization. Soon after he took office, Archbishop Goh set up the Office for New Evangelization. And they have set up 4 tasks or 4 thrusts in the process of achieving this vision. Rekindling our faith, renewing the people, revitalizing our outreach, and refreshing our structures. And that is what your parish of Our Lady Queen of Peace is trying to do. That's what they want to do. And so they've invited us, the Redemptorists, to conduct this parish mission or this Triduum for your feast day. What is a parish mission? A parish mission is designed to do exactly this. A parish mission is a time for rekindling the faith, renewing people, revitalizing outreach. Pope Francis calls the church and every parish to go out to the peripheries. He wants to see Catholics sharing the faith with others. He wants a church that is engaged in social issues. He wants a church where people live their faith in a congruent way. He wants a church that is full of young people, a church that is full of energy. He wants to revitalize our mission and reach out to those who have left. And all around the world, Catholics are leaving the church, and they're leaving by the millions. More and more people no longer choose to identify themselves as Catholics or no longer acknowledge the faith. So why? Why is this happening? Why are all these people leaving the church or not practicing the faith anymore? Is it because our Mass, our worship, our sacraments, our homilies are boring and irrelevant? Is it because the church rejects the LGBTQIA persons? And so now people feel as if we are being judgmental and condemning them, or that we're not inclusive. Is it because of the sexual abuse crisis? And now the church has lost all credibility to preach the gospel and to offer moral teaching? Or is it because people have had a bad experience of community? They have come to the parish or they have joined ministries and they don't feel welcome. And they've grown tired of all the gossip and the backbiting and the politics that we may encounter in church. And they've come to the conclusion that all the people in church are just a bunch of hypocrites. I don't want this. I'm out of here. So in response to all of these problems, the church has tried to renew people's faith. And the way we've tried to renew people's faith is through programs. Here in Our Lady Queen of Peace, we have the Redemptorist Parish Missions. But in the wider Church of Singapore, we have many programs. We have the CER, the PRE, we have CTIS, we run the LISS, we have NCCs, and we have the BCCs. And all of this is organized by the ONE, the OYP, and the OFC. Singaporeans are famous for endless acronyms. Maybe you need to go and look up what all of this stands for. Maybe you've attended some of these programs and they are good programs. They're run by people who are on fire with the faith. People have attended these programs and it's brought about a real change in their lives. But Christian life is not just about attending a program, completing the program, and graduating from the program. Christian life is not just about finishing a course. Christian life is about being a disciple of Jesus every day of our lives on a lifelong journey of learning and growth. One day, when Jesus was walking along the Sea of Galilee, he saw two fishermen, Simon and his brother Andrew. And he said to them, "Follow me." And they just dropped everything that they were doing and left everything they had behind and followed Jesus. This is the invitation, the same invitation that Jesus gives to you and to me. Follow me. Be my disciple. The Gospels were originally written in Greek. And the word for disciple in Greek is mathetes. The word mathetes means a student or an apprentice. So when the gospel was translated from Greek into Latin, the word for student or apprentice in Latin is discipulus. And from that we get our English word disciple. So what is a disciple of Jesus? A disciple of Jesus is a student of Jesus, an apprentice of Jesus. And the church is a community of disciples, a community of people who have decided that they want to follow Jesus, who want to be students and apprentices of Jesus to learn from him. That is the mission of the church. The mission of the church is for all of us to be committed to be Jesus' students and apprentices, and to invite other people to follow Jesus, to be his disciples as well. Sometimes I think the church has forgotten that. At times we have misunderstood what the mission of the church is. And I'd like to point out a couple of misunderstandings that are quite rampant. For some, the mission of the church has become sacramentalized. So what are we supposed to do as disciples of Jesus? Attend Mass every Sunday. Make sure you go for confession once a year. Follow all the commandments. Don't eat meat on Friday. And then we make sure that our kids get their sacraments. Make sure they get their first communion. Make sure they get their confirmation. Good. Very good. The sacraments are vitally important for living the faith and following Jesus. But so often, we have emphasized those sacraments completely disconnected from living the faith and from mission. For some people, they see the church as a club for those who are perfect, for those who are good. It's an association of respectable citizens. And good and respectable citizens and people go to church every Sunday. But very quickly you will find that people who don't feel that they are part of this group or this club will feel excluded or unwelcome. In the gospel today, Jesus is criticized for hanging out with people who are not quite good and respectable, for being friends with people who don't follow the rituals. Jesus has not come to affirm and to comfort good and respectable people. Jesus has not come for them. They don't feel like as if they need Jesus. They are fine. Their life goes on perfectly well. Rather, Jesus has come to reach out to the lost sheep, those who are outside, those who are in the peripheries. And Jesus recruited his disciples from the peripheries. For his disciples, Jesus did not choose the perfect, not the intelligent, not the aristocrats, not the respectable people of society. Instead, Jesus chose uneducated fishermen, tax collectors, and a couple of gangsters. It's the wounded who need Jesus. It is the lost sheep that Jesus has come to search out and bring home. The mission of the church is to accompany people on the journey of life, wherever they may be, encouraging them to accept Jesus' invitation to follow him and to be his disciples. That's the mission of the church. How do we do that? In his exhortation, The Joy of the Gospel, Pope Francis reflects on how we can proclaim the gospel and evangelize. It's a difficult one to answer, but it's a simple 4-step process. It begins not by yelling at people from a pulpit, telling them what they're supposed to believe and how they're supposed to live their life. We begin sharing the faith by the witness of our own lives. And very often this will be a silent and wordless witness. The first thing that we do, or the first thing that people notice, is the kindness that we show to others. Is by the way that we speak to people, by how we respect them. People will see the honest way in which we conduct our business. People will notice how faithful we are to our spouses and to our families, how we care for our children and our parents. People will notice how we help our classmates who may be struggling with their studies. And when people notice that this is how we live our life, then they might ask the question, what motivates you to live like this? Why do you live your life in this way? Now the door is open. Now the door is open for you to share your faith with others. And now you can tell them, I live like this because I'm a disciple of Jesus. I live like this because my teacher, Jesus, teaches me to live this way. And I'm not perfect, but I try. And then people might be open for you to invite them to come to your community. This is the time for us to invite them to our community, to our parish, to our neighborhood group, to our youth group. Come to my parish, come to my ministry. Meet others who also want to follow the teachings of Jesus in their life. And eventually we hope to make a disciple out of this person who will then go out and live this witness himself or herself and then invite others to come and be disciples of Jesus as well. These disciples will go out and they will share the story of Jesus with others and bring more to follow him. That is the mission of the church. The mission of the church is to welcome and to accompany people on the journey of life, to walk with them on the journey of being a disciple of Jesus. Jacob is on a journey. It was a story that we read in the first reading today from the book of Genesis. Jacob is on a journey because his father has sent him to a faraway place to look for a wife. And so he's got to walk a journey of many days. But Jacob is also running away. He's running away from his brother because his brother is angry with him and his brother Esau wants to kill him. And along the journey, one night, Jacob stops to rest. He goes to sleep, and God appears to him in a dream. And God says to him, know that I am with you always. And so Jacob, when he wakes up, names the place Bethel, the house of God. And Jacob realizes at that moment and he exclaims, the Lord is here in this place. But I did not know it. So many people are on a journey. You are on a journey, and I'm on a journey. And we're searching for something. Sometimes we're running away from something. But God is with us on that journey. Wherever you are, God is there with you. The mission of the church is to find people on their journeys and accompany them, walk with them, help them to see that God is there with them wherever they may be. Next month, the parish of Queen of Peace will be reaching out to the peripheries in a very special way. We're reaching out to Catholics who want to return to church. And parishioners are committed to walk with them on that journey, to help them to find and to realize that God is there with them and has always been there with them. The parish has organized a landings program to help and to accompany Catholics to come home. So keep an eye on the invitations that are going to be coming out and encourage you to invite your family and friends to attend this program if it is something appropriate for them. The parish of Queen of Peace has established its pillars: formation, outreach, and community. It has identified 4 groups of people as priorities to focus on: young people, young couples and families, church ministries, and those who have left the practice of the faith. And I believe these are highly commendable efforts to be missionary, to reach out to the peripheries, to live out the mission of the church and the new evangelization. That is the mission of this parish and every parish: to share the Catholic faith, to accompany people on their journey of life, to help them be better disciples of Jesus, and to help others to come home. May I say, on behalf of my confreres, Father Elvin Rex and Father Terence, it's been a blessing for us to encounter a parish that has been trying so hard to live out its mission. And I really want to thank you for inviting the Redemptorists to be part of you on this journey, to accompany you on this journey. May God bless everything that you are doing and bring it to fruition. And on behalf of the entire Redemptorist community, we wish you a very happy and blessed feast day. Amen.